Hey guys, welcome to week 4 of your plastic-free Kickstart. I'm Kate, your plastic-free mermaid, and this week we'll be focusing on our plastic-free storage hacks and our plastic-free snacks. A lot of the common snacks that people like to eat come packaged in plastic, so chips, crackers, dips, cheese, all these things that are tempting us on the shelves at the market, but really shouldn't, because we can make them all at home out of natural organic ingredients, and we make them 5 times more delicious. And you get to control what exactly is in your products, which is awesome, as opposed to things with preservatives and nasty chemicals. So scroll down for those recipes, because first I want to talk to you about storage. I think a lot of the times we buy things in plastic thinking we want to keep them fresh, get that airtight seal, but think about it, a lot of stuff is packaged in plastic bags. You break the seal and then it's not like it seals back up tight. You have to roll it and use a clip, and then the humidity might creep in, the oxygen might make it stale, bugs might crawl in. I'll just explain to you what I use in my home, and then you can just see what works for you. I use a combination of plastic Tupperware, stainless steel, glass, and beeswax wraps. So let's go through these because they each have a specific use. Plastic's a great material for things that are reusable, but not for single use. So, we have some plastic Tupperware, so I use it. There are specific cases where I won't use plastic Tupperware. Plastic is a material that has a lot of different chemicals in it that give it its texture, its rigidity, its opaqueness or its color, and all these chemicals that make up this plastic container have the potentiality to leach chemicals into whatever it is that they're containing. Increasing the likelihood of plastic chemicals leaching is heat as well as fat content. So if you put something that's hot into plastic, it's more likely to leach its chemicals into that content. Same as if you put something fatty into plastic and then we eat it and it goes into our body and lodges in our fat stores. A little bit hectic. So what do I use plastic for? It's great for an airtight seal. We put our loaves of sourdough in a big plastic box and we wrap it up and seal it. This serves its purpose. We can wash it and reuse it. That's great. I also buy my herbs at the farmer's market, and these particular herbs came with their roots attached. Just after that first leaf I snipped, and then I could actually plant those roots in the ground and try and grow my own herbs. Then wrap up the herbs or the greens in paper. I get the paper a little bit damp. Paper being damp just keeps it kind of fresh and crisp. I put it into my plastic container and then I pop it in the fridge. That is how I store my herbs and greens and lots of vegetables. We just want to minimize our exposure to plastic. Me personally, I have such little exposure to plastic, so I'm not that concerned about putting something with a fresh open edge like this cut lemon in plastic. I've worked with a lot of scientists that specialize in studying plastic's impact on human health, and they still use plastic for Tupperware and these sorts of purposes. They don't use it for heat and they don't use it for fat. So you don't want to put your hot pad thai in here, anything with oil or anything greasy into plastic. No, just keep it out of the plastic, put it in glass or put it in, we'll get there. I worry about us when we have all of our bath products, all of our body products, all of our cleaning products, all of our food products is all being stored in plastic. The amount of chemicals that are leaching, the amount of chemicals that we're exposed to, the amount of chemicals that our body has to fight off is just a little bit overwhelming. I just worry about our health. So I minimize my exposure to plastics, and I use plastic when it seems practical. Stainless steel is my favorite kind of container. These are great. I'm not worried about chemicals leaching into my food at all. I can put hot food in here, I can put cold food in here. It's great. These are very durable. You can wash and reuse these. They are a little bit more expensive, and you don't get as many variety in shapes and size, but they're so great. Let's talk about beeswax wraps. Beeswax wraps are an incredible alternative to saran wrap or cling wrap or plastic wrap. It is just a piece of cloth coated in beeswax. Beeswax is organic, all natural, and there's no chemicals in it, so it's food safe. What you do is you get your food, so pop the lemon in the beeswax wrap it up, totally easy, and that's safe to store in the fridge. You can also wrap up sandwiches, vegetables, all sorts of things can be wrapped up in your beeswax wrap. This is my pineapple from this morning. You just pop the beeswax on, and just like saran wrap or cling wrap, it just wraps around, and because it's sticky from the wax, it takes the shape that you press it into, which is so awesome. And then you can just put it in the fridge and it stays fresh. Another thing for hot food, you can put it in ceramic bowl and then cover it with a beeswax wrap. So this is really easy. If you have leftovers, just pop it in a bowl and use your beeswax wrap. This is almond meal. I just made this almond milk this week, and I saved the almond milk. I put it in the oven to dry it out, so it was hot when it came out of the oven. I didn't want to put it into a plastic Tupperware, so I just popped it in this bowl because I know I'll be using it soon, and then I wrapped it in this beeswax wrap to create an airtight seal. So once you're done, you just take a bit of natural or gentle soap, a little bit on there, take your scrubby brush, work up some suds, and then rinse it under cold water. So that's enough to clean your beeswax wraps. Do both sides if they both get dirty. You just want to scrub the food off of it to prevent any bacteria buildup or mold or anything like that. Don't use hot water, that's going to melt the wax. Ding. In our bonus video this week, I'll send you the video for how to make your own beeswax wraps. It's actually so easy. So that's our beeswax wraps. And finally, glass. Glass is like the easiest, best storage solution because, as I mentioned in shopping, we are purchasing goods that come packaged in glass with metal screw top lids. So it's really easy to just reuse those, repurpose them in our house, upcycle them into storage containers. When you do buy something in glass, get home, eat it all, whatever, rinse it out, give it a good clean inside and out. If it smells still, you might want to soak it with some warm water and some soap, or use it to store like products. If you want to get rid of the label, you can just soak this in warm water with a drop of eucalyptus oil or lemon essential oil. That just helps loosen the glue that's holding the paper or the plastic label on the jar. Paper is way easier to scrub off. Sometimes the glue is so loosened you can just peel it off clean and recycle that paper. Sometimes the plastic peels off clean and you can recycle that plastic too, but is it really recycled? Where does it go? Who's recycling it? Don't really love that setup. Try to buy glass with paper label. Sometimes it just gets a scrubby mess and you are left with plastic and residue on your jars. As I mentioned, I go to the bulk food store and I stock up on all my spices and grains and seeds and nuts and syrups and sugars and soaps, all of these things. And I bring them home and I label them, so I don't confuse my cayenne pepper with my paprika. So this is how I store most of my things. I'll show you inside my pantry so you can see what my pantry looks like and just how I use all my jars. So here's inside my pantry: coconut sugar, coconut syrup, coconut oil, olive oil that we refill with buy in bulk, all sorts of goodies, cacao, all these things we buy bulk, try to replace as often as we eat them. Little reusable bag, tea that we've collected. If you don't have jars at home, you can always go to an op shop or a thrift store and pick some up. If you have too many jars, like myself maybe, you can always give them to an op shop or make your friends deodorant, bath salts, or candles, or think of some creative way to use your jars. When you're at the op shop or when you're at a garage sale, keep an eye out for giant jars. These are so handy to have around the house. I use these in the winter. I'll fill these up with rice and lentils. Then we have a huge amount of dried goods, so we can just whip up some really yummy rice and dal at a moment's notice and throw a ton of veggies in. It's just good to have these on hand, especially if you eat oats every morning as well, or maybe chia pudding every morning. Just have a huge quantity, so you don't have to keep replenishing your stock. Buy it when it's on sale, you know, just like have these ready. In the summer I use a giant jar. I usually make some iced tea, so I put some nice tea leaves in here and then leave it out in the sunshine, and then put that in the fridge, and then we've got iced tea to drink, which is so nice. So the big jars definitely come in handy. This is what I put my almond milk in. This bottle has a sentimental value. My partner and I got this when we were in Fiji. I was there hosting my mermaid retreat, and afterwards we celebrated. We bought this bottle. It was chili infused homemade rum, so it just has really great memories. So it's nice to be able to reuse this bottle. It has sentimental value, and maybe that's cheesy, but how cool is that to have, you know, containers that have memories and sentimental value and positive association versus just like trash that we throw out and actually like have to run back and forth from the bin with smelly, gross trash. Instead, I have a positive memory associated with this container. So that's just like one of the many benefits of going plastic free, is just starting to kind of enrich our life with positive associations, more connection to nature or to our experience of life, and less disposable, less easy, quick, fast. More slow, enjoyable. This is coffee. It's really hard to find coffee that's not packaged in plastic. I found some local guys that roast their own beans, so I pop up there. They roast on Wednesdays and Thursdays, so I pop up there with a jar and fill up my jar with their fresh roasted coffee grounds. They happen to be out in the hills near this beautiful waterfall. It's a bit of a drive, but it's an amazing excuse to go visit the waterfall. So again, a benefit of going plastic free is instead of being like, oh, what a drag, I have to drive all the way out there to pick up this coffee, it's so far away. No, instead, it's like, this is awesome. I'm so glad that the only place that I can buy coffee is right next to this gorgeous waterfall. Because now I have to visit it, every couple weeks. Oh no, I'm out of coffee. Shoot, I have to go visit that gorgeous waterfall and dunk my head under the beautiful splashing of water. Ah. This is what going plastic free is about. It's finding the positives, seeing the beauty. It's connecting back to nature. It's connecting back to what's natural. It's connecting back to the community. Before you put things in the recycling bin, see if you can come up with another solution or another use for it in your own home. Hopefully this has been helpful. This is what I do to store my food here at home. I use glass jars for most of my beauty products and bath products, as I showed you in week 1. Plastic containers and glass jars for my cleaning products. And if you have any questions, please get in touch, mermaid@iquitplastics.com, or chat me up in our Facebook group. And if you have any suggestions or things to add, I am always open to hearing this. I think this movement will only progress if we all stay open to learning and growing, so I am totally open to hearing your perspective, your tips, your tricks. So I want this to be collaborative. I just feel so grateful to be able to share this information with you. I feel so inspired that there are so many people that want to learn this, and that I even have a purpose in being able to share it. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, from the bottom of the ocean. I truly honor and admire and respect you. So I hope you honor, admire, and respect your own self for taking this challenge, for taking on this journey of working towards being plastic free, for taking on this commitment to coming back to nature, to embracing plants, to embracing what's natural, away from the synthetics, or away from what's normal in our society. We truly are changing the world. We're making such a difference. These little changes make a huge difference. When you see one turtle that's got a plastic fork up its nose, or a shark that's died from a plastic ring, or a whale that's choked on plastic bags, every single little bit of plastic that we don't use really adds up. So thank you so much for your commitment. Thank you so much for what you're doing. Thank you so much for doing your part and for spreading this work of being plastic free. It's an honor to share this, and I hope you have a fabulous day. Mwah!